With the power of luminance, I'll make quick work of you.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Nice job.
Welcome to another build video, guys. In this one, we'll be covering a super tanky, up-in-your-face bruiser build, sort of akin to the Paladin archetype. You'll be able to take a ton of punishment with this build and also have a few tools to get your teammates out of danger in a pinch. Despite the tanky nature of the build, you can still deal some pretty disgusting damage with the right spell gems. So let's go ahead and start off with the spells and abilities I've been using. To start off, we'll be running Veil of Blood. This Veil, with the right spell gems, can pump out some ridiculous damage and healing. On top of restoring 5% of your max health baseline, you can actually increase that by another 2.3% with a spell gem. Honestly, Veil of Blood has some insane affinities, so pretty much anything will work. Personally, I like running the extra damage perks, or at least one of them, with Elude Duration to give me more time to land the auto attack. Moving on to core spells, I always run Lightning Curtain with this build. I think it's just such a versatile spell. You can use it in pretty much any scenario against any build and it'll perform. Even against things like summoner builds or void spammers, which would seem like hard counters. With the right spell gems, you'll get enough utility out of the spell to be worth not being able to block those spells. For example, with the stun effect, you can stand in your own Lightning Curtain and pull someone into it with Polarity Shift or Spear E, for example, and get a free stun off. You can use Lightning Curtain entirely for a burst of movement speed. You can use it for a reliable, relatively large shield on yourself. I think it's 90%. Just another way to make you more tanky. So yeah, I absolutely love this spell. I'd recommend running it. The next spell I've been using is Polarity Shift. This ability is super fun and honestly really frustrating to play against. The cast time is near instant. You get 2 charges. It deals pretty decent damage for what it is, and you can increase the travel speed and damage even further with spell gems. This spell is disgusting. You can use it on any mob in the game or player, including your own teammates and servants. So if you see your partner about to get spear comboed, you could swap places with them or the enemy, and you've just prevented a huge burst window. It's great for poke damage, trading spells like a telegraphed greatsword Q, and getting your teammates out of danger. I absolutely love this spell. Lastly, I played around with Bloodrite. Take this if you want to be more up close and personal, or for example, you're doing a castle siege. It deals pretty respectable damage, and a lot like the other spells I've covered here, has some pretty insane perks with spell gems. I'd run the Turn Invisible while immaterial. Next primary attack within 5 seconds deals 50% bonus damage, and Trigger applies a Fading Snare for 1.5 seconds. This is all just to make your next primary attack hit really, really hard and be very easy to hit. Or you could swap out one of them for just straight up 40% increased damage when triggered. Counters are generally really strong in the meta right now, so I would definitely try this one out. For the ultimate, I run Merciless Charge. Paladins in Silverlight and Solaris himself do a very similar charge attack that inflicts a holy burn effect and pushes you in front of them. This is probably the best ultimate right now for PvP and allows you to combo people really, really easy. I don't run Reaper with this build myself, but if you wanted to maximize damage, when you hit someone with Merciless Charge, throw a Reaper on top of them, and then quickly swap and do a Spear Q before the stun wears off. If you have a Condemned Spear, you'll more than likely almost one-shot somebody, given they have the static debuff from your 2 other abilities. Every tick of damage from the Reaper E and the Spear Q will trigger static, they'll be ignited from Merciless Charge, and they'll be taking extra damage from Condemn. Moving on to gear for the build, I run Amulet of the Master Spellweaver for 10% damage reduction, as well as physical damage reduction on my weapon and health. With everything together, you'll have a larger health pool than anyone else, be able to heal max health with Veil of Blood, and have a 22% flat physical damage reduction on top of that. Lastly, of course, you'll want to run Warrior Blood. The parry effect will just add to your survivability, and a lot of your damage already comes from physical sources, so pumping that stat up will be very beneficial. Well, that wraps up this build. I hope you guys liked it. I've had a lot of fun playing this build and feel much more relaxed playing it because you don't really get one shot by spear combos anymore. Anyways, I'd love to hear any ideas you guys have for future builds or videos. I'm trying to post more regularly and kind of get into the groove, so any feedback is highly appreciated. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.